Okay, hello everyone. My name is Krista. I'm a partner manager here at ShipBob, and I'm excited to introduce Alex, Senior Manager of Tech Partnerships at Gorgias, as our next speaker. Gorgias also supports TikTok Shop in the US. With their integration, brands can answer support tickets and questions from TikTok shoppers directly within their Gorgias platform in their dashboard. Alex is going to walk us through how it's done and a few other tips to scale the customer experience for your TikTok shop. So with that, I'll pass it over to you, Alex.
Great. Thanks, Krista. And Krista, could you just let me know, are you seeing my
Yep,
screen with the, okay, title slide?
looks good.
Perfect. Okay. I'm just working on my laptop, so I want to make sure it shows up. So yeah, thanks very much for the introduction, Krista. Really excited to be here today, speaking a little bit more about 5 tips to help scale your customer experience for your TikTok shop. Just by way of introduction, as Krista said, my name's Alex Bogey. I'm a technology partnerships manager here at Gorgias. I manage a number of our partnerships and integrations back into our help desk platform, including ShipBob. As we go through today, we're going to be focusing specifically on our TikTok shop integration. If you do have questions, please feel free to add them into the chat. We'll try to get them at the end of my session or in a follow-up. We're also going to be recording this, and I'll leave my contact information as well if you have any specific questions you want to ask following the session. Just to give some background and context for those of you who aren't familiar with Gorgias, Gorgias is the #1 help desk platform built specifically for e-commerce brands. Essentially, we're a help desk dashboard that helps you consolidate all of your customer support inquiries that come in, whether it be through email, chat, social media channel like TikTok, which we'll get into in a moment, SMS and phone. The whole idea is we're one dashboard to consolidate all those questions to make it easier for your support team to not only reply in a timely manner, but also get context if a particular customer or prospect has reached out before and what their questions were related to. We work with a number of different e-commerce platforms, including and predominantly Shopify, but also BigCommerce, Magento, and WooCommerce. We also have a full automation suite. I'll talk a little bit about that today as well and how it can be used inside of TikTok Shop. And we're working with more than 14,000 merchants globally. In terms of our footprint, we have people all over the world. I'm usually based in Vancouver, Canada, but I'm actually down in Palm Springs this week for the ETL West conference. So I'll just add that as well. If anyone listening happens to be down or you have colleagues, counterparts at the conference as well, Gorgias has a booth here. So if you want to say hi in person or have some questions, feel free to pop by. I'll be there again today. Last piece I'll touch on, and I think this is true of most of the partners and speakers you'll see throughout the session today, is it's not just one platform that's really important when we're talking about these customer experiences. It's also looking at how these integrations provide that better experience. So we're going to talk specifically about integrating with TikTok Shop today, but when it comes to email, SMS, returns, fulfillment, like a ShipBob, it's really important to remember that that whole experience happens because of all the integrations you can build back into a dashboard or your help desk platform. So another thing to keep in mind as we're talking today. So specifically, when we're looking at this through the lens of TikTok Shop, what I thought would be helpful is to share 5 tips we've seen on how to scale customer experience for TikTok shops and what Gorgias is seeing specifically in the United States as it relates to our integrations with TikTok today. And so these are themes and some ideas of what you could be bringing in for your own brand to use TikTok. But of course, this is definitely a fluid thing. TikTok's continuing to expand. We're also looking at how we can enhance our own integration with TikTok. So this is definitely phase one, but I think there's going to be even more tips we'll have later this year on what you can do specifically with TikTok, but also in social and customer support as well. So the first piece, and I'm going to dive into all these in more detail, but is this idea of being more conversational, thinking about how you engage with this demographic and these types of customers in more of a feed scenario versus an email. I'm going to talk a little bit about sharing product links. So if someone's having a struggle to find what they want on your TikTok shop, how can you ensure that a purchase can happen? So we'll talk about that a little bit. I'm going to share what we're seeing some brands do when it comes to bringing in help center content or frequently asked questions they've built elsewhere and using that inside of a social media setting. And then a little bit around how to evaluate customer responses, what works well what gets questions answered for customers, what resonates, and how that can be tweaked for TikTok and social media as well. And then finally, at a broader sense, we'll talk about how you could look at integrating TikTok with a help desk if it's Gorgias. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. That's another great thing you can be doing. So this idea of being conversational, I'm sure many of you are already experiencing this today with your TikTok shops. It's this idea of really looking at how you're communicating on these channels to build relationships, right? It's a little bit different than the traditional email or phone call where one person's calling in, it's a specific question, you're replying back, it's one-on-one. This is more looking at things through like a stream setting, as we would call it, right? So it's a conversational thread that's happening in real time. There may be different questions, different pieces of feedback coming at you. So it's how you think about engaging with that feed is super important. And one of the things we're seeing prove really successful is using that stream to answer and moderate questions in real time as you can, but then also branching off and directly messaging specific customer related questions as they come up. So in that sense, you're building a brand image and reputation and relationships through your main streams, but then you're also offering that one-to-one customer support piece by following up directly with potential customers and prospects as well. So we're really encouraging brands to be as conversational as possible, not just with TikTok, but with social media in general under the lens of customer support. And this really is important, not only in how you present your brand and the messaging you want to have communicated to these customers, but also how effective you can be in structuring the responses and customer support feedback you give to these brands and relationships as well. So that's the first piece. Second part's a little more specific to a revenue generating initiative we're seeing prove quite successful on social media. And it's this idea of you may have a customer who's seen an ad you've posted somewhere for a product and it's a certain color, a certain size, a certain configuration. But when they come on to your TikTok shop, they might not initially see that. It could be they think it's sold out, they think it might not be in inventory, it's been discontinued, whatever the case may be. So what we're encouraging here is to always have the ability to follow up if a person reaches out on TikTok to say, hey, I saw this product, how can I get my hands on it? To offer the ability to share out product links. So this would be in a follow-up to them making the purchase directly on TikTok. It's the idea that you share out a product link that takes them directly to your Shopify store. So as a bit of a fail-safe and hopefully for prevent losing a sale, you're including this link so they can make that purchase directly on your site through Shopify. So this is something we're highly encouraging brands to do just to make sure that at the end of the day, you're providing not only a good customer experience, but hopefully generating some more revenue that you potentially could have lost as well. When it comes to sharing frequently asked question content, we like to say this idea of if you have the question, probably odds are, 5, 10 other people have the same question as you. And we see this across the board, not just on social media, is this need to start automating and offer abilities to answer questions at scales for your customers. When can I expect my order? Do you have discounts on this product? Are there any new releases coming out? Frequently asked questions you may be seeing all the time across different channels. And what we're now really encouraging brands to do is take the answers you may have built and pre-populated for those needs in a help center on your website or in a frequently asked chat conversation you built for automation and look to actually bring those directly into TikTok to serve up content directly. So we have an example here we did with Branch where you can actually include those questions. And ideally, you're now starting to offer the ability to support these customers and their questions at scale. Take some of that moderation work off of your support and marketing teams who may be trying to do it manually right now. A further piece to this, and I definitely encourage you to check out this product if you haven't heard of it or seen it before, is Chat Desk. It's essentially a really great way to enhance the moderation and answering of questions at scale for your teams, especially if it's when your support team may be off hours, not online, and you want someone else to help kind of support or give you that boost at peak times. Chat Desk is a great AI and customer support solution that also integrates with Gorgias to support this. It also does a really awesome job of finding things like super fans of your product on TikTok and offering some more personalized messaging to them. So that's also a really great way to further enhance and boost your own teams if you're seeing a real surge in interest on your TikTok channel. So definitely encourage you to check out Chat Desk as well if you haven't already. When it comes to evaluating customer responses, I think this one is a little bit more nuanced. It's not necessarily a product feature. It's not an integration itself, but it's more really reflecting and taking stock of what types of questions and answers are you providing to customers today that are proving really successful? What type of language, what types of information are you giving out that's not only quickly getting to a customer, but giving them the info they need to have their question addressed. And we look at this through the lens of, what do customers want to hear, taking that content, but in a social setting, right? In a social media setting. So your demographic may be a little bit different. We talked about this idea of it being more conversational, more relationship building. So one thing we're encouraging a lot of the merchants we work with is to think about how those answers you may share on another channel like email or phone or SMS are working. And would you tweak any of that language to make it more successful in a social media setting like TikTok? So it's adjusting the language, adjusting the length of the message, how quickly you're sharing it out to hopefully provide that same level of success and customer support you're seeing on other channels at scale, but now doing it through social media and with TikTok. Last piece I want to talk about is, of course, the idea of, we talked a lot about building relationships, being conversational, managing these conversations at scale. I think it's also prudent to really look at integrating your TikTok shop, if you have one or you're just getting going with it, into your help desk platform if there's one in place. I'm going to speak, of course, a little bit about the integration of TikTok with Gorgias, but whatever system you're using, I highly encourage you put this integration in place if you can. It's just a really great way to add essentially another channel for your customer support teams into your help desk platform you're using. In the case of Gorgias, it's a great way to consolidate those additional questions you may be getting from TikTok into your dashboard. So if that particular person has reached out to you before on email or Facebook Messenger or SMS, you're going to be able to see those conversations and their questions if they've been answered in addition to what they've asked on TikTok. So you're going to get the full picture of that person in a centralized dashboard. And then you also have the ability to respond directly back to them on TikTok with email, SMS, images, and video through the integration we have in place today with TikTok in the United States. So really highly encourage you to put that in place, provide that customer experience at scale as we're always striving to see our merchants do. And just to recap, 5 things you can do right now that are going to prove really successful is really consider how you can be more conversational with your customers and prospects on TikTok. Look to share out product links if the potential customer can't find what they want directly on your TikTok shop. Look to share out your frequently asked question content or help desk content you've built on other channels directly in social. Evaluate what customer responses are proving successful on other channels and bring that in. And finally, if you haven't already, look to integrate your TikTok shop directly into your help desk. Hope that's helpful. I've included some more information on myself here today. I know there's a lot of content coming at you. So if you do have some more specific questions or want to get in touch in general about what we do in the customer support help desk space, feel free to email me. I'll also include a little QR code here as well if you want to book a demo to learn more. Thanks for the time.
Thanks so much, Alex. If you guys have questions for Alex, please drop them in the chat, or you can head over to the Gorgias booth as well. And I'm excited to announce our first winner, I think, of the sessions today, Jennifer Knockvey, who will be receiving a little elf gift wrap cutter, which I've seen those things all over TikTok and Instagram. So we will be in touch to get that to you. But thanks again, Alex.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.